Hey guys, welcome to Weird, Scary, or Gross Stories this week. So our story tonight comes from the book of Ezekiel. And Ezekiel was kind of like one of the prophets, not kind of like one of the prophets, he was one of the prophets. And remember, a prophet was someone who was like a messenger from God. God would give them messages to deliver. And Ezekiel was a super famous one. He's actually what we call one of the major prophets. There are also minor prophets, but he was a major one. And so in this, Ezekiel, our story today, Ezekiel's having a vision, which means God is letting him see something. And it's weird. Like, this could be straight up out of like a horror movie. Yeah, or a cartoon. Just think whatever, like Halloween, it's very Halloweenish. So in our story, this is what Ezekiel says: the hand of the Lord was on me and he brought me out by the Spirit of the Lord. And so God took him here. And so where he put him, get this, he was in a valley. So like mountains, valleys. So we're in a valley. And this is not an ordinary valley, or at least not like one I've ever been in. I've seen valleys like this in movies. And get this, are you ready? Ezekiel was in a valley of dry bones. Yep. You guys couldn't see it, but Abby, who's taking this video, just was like, really? Yeah, like for real. So I'm talking full on out, like skeletons that you see around at Halloween. Like, this valley was full of them. And these bones were, like, they're not fresh bones. They've been there a while. They're like dry, and this is just me thinking, like envisioning, like probably like kind of falling apart a little bit. And if the valley's full of them, it's not like the whole skeleton's gonna be there. So I've always wondered, like, do you think there's like a pile of skulls here and then femurs here? I just don't know. What do you think? Totally drop it in the comments for me if you think you have an idea. So I just want to say this. So this is really why I miss like being able to do this in person with you, because y'all always have the best comments and ideas on this stuff. Okay, so back to the story. And so they're in this valley of dry bones. And God said to Ezekiel, hey, can these bones come back to life? Now, dude, Ezekiel is smart. Because if it had been me that God had asked, my answer probably would have been, no, they're dry bones. Not what Ezekiel said. He said, only you know that answer, God. That's the right answer. If God ever asks you that question, that's the right answer right there. Listen to Ezekiel. And so this is what God said to Ezekiel. Now I'm going to look over here because I have it written down because it's so cool, like exactly what he says. And I don't always memorize lines super well. So he said, this is what I need you to do, Ezekiel. You're going to say these words to the bones. Are you ready for this? And make sure that they know that it's God speaking, not you. Like, just, I want to make that perfectly clear. Like they wouldn't know. And this is what Ezekiel was supposed to say. I will make breath enter you, and you will come to life. I will attach tendons to you, and make flesh come upon you, and cover you with skin. I will put breath in you, and you will come to life. Then you will know I am God. Now, did you hear what God was just saying? He told those dry bones, I'm going to make you come back together and you're going to be a person. Is your mind racing right now? So Ezekiel did it. And then listen to what scripture says happened. Are you ready? As he was saying this, as Ezekiel was telling the bones this, there was a noise, a rattling sound, and the bones came together. Now, what do you think? A whole bunch of bones. Remember, dry bones. How do you think that rattling would sound? Like, I feel like if you have a toy skeleton at home, you should totally just go rattle the bones and see what it sounds like. You can take a video and send it to me too so I can hear. And then they came together bone by bone. So remember how I said the whole valley was full of bones? And so I just envision, again, this is me using my brain, like my imagination, because the Bible doesn't tell us exactly, but like if there was a bone here and the next bone that was there, I feel like they just came together like that. Can you imagine watching all of this happen? It'd be so weird, but so awesome. And so I looked, and tendons, I, being Ezekiel, not me, I wasn't there. Ezekiel looked, and tendons and flesh appeared on them, and then the skin covered them. So, like, literally, Ezekiel's watching bones come together to form a human. Not sure how I would react. I'm gonna be 100% honest. One of two things would happen. I'd run away screaming, or I would stand there and not know what to say. It's a toss-up for which one would happen. But even though all that had happened, there was no breath in the bones. They were still just there. And so God said, all right, Ezekiel, now you're going to say this. Come, breath from the four winds, and breathe into these slain. Breathe into these bones, that they may live. So he called the Spirit to come and be in them so that they could live. Now, here, this is some, like, if this does not say Halloween to you, I don't know what does. Because remember, there are all these things laying around, all these bodies that have come, all these bones that have come together, but there wasn't any breath in them, so Ezekiel said these words over them, and guess what they did? The breath entered them, and they came to life. And they stood up, and they had a vast army. From a place where there had just been only dry bones, now they had an army of living, breathing people. See, so like this story, totally in the Bible, and it's kind of a little bit of a mix of like a zombie movie, but also like Frankenstein. Pretty sure we watched Garfield's Halloween special last year at Awana on our Halloween night. This would have been in there. Like, this fits. And so your activity today is just see it at home if you can replicate what that sound would have been of those rattling bones. Like, we totally can't make that happen. God could if he wanted to, probably not going to. But we know he can. That's a cool thing. And that's what keeps us on our toes with God. But just see if you can replicate that sound. All right, so I will be back next week for our last weird, scary, or gross story out of the Bible. And hey, just a reminder, I sent a postcard out to y'all, but next Wednesday, 5:30 to 6:30, I'm gonna be in the church, not in the parking lot, because it might be cold, because it's October and it's already snowed. But I'll be down in the Ed building, so the door that you come in for Awana and youth group and stuff, and I'll be watching for you if you want to come show me your costumes, and I'll have some candy for you. But otherwise, tune in next week for your weird, scary, or gross story from the Bible. Bye, guys.